Hello everybody, my name is James Hobbs with the Yanks, and today I'm doing my very first Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. Now, if you don't know what Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle is, it is basically just an orb matching puzzle game, but it is amazing. It is probably one of my favorite games I have ever played. Basically, the premise of the game, you just match orbs, but it's more complicated than that, because there's just layers upon layers in the game. You collect cards, you train them up, get different stronger cards, and that's the long and short of it. It is a fantastic game. I absolutely love it. Now, today, more specifically, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be covering one of the new battles that's going on in the game. It is called the 7th Universe God of Destruction event, and what this does is, if you have a specific Beerus card, there's actually several of them, you can farm this event and get the specific medals that you need in order to Dokkan Awaken him. Now, in this video, I'll be going over the team that I used, kind of my general strategy for how I beat him. And just as a heads up, this is pre-recorded footage that I'm going to be talking over. I don't quite have my recording set up just right. So if it seems like, it just kind of seems off, as you can probably tell, I'm not actually playing the game right now. So I'll just be talking over some of the footage. But very first thing, I actually need to go over the team that I used. Let me get this just right. There we go. Obviously, my team lead is Gogeta. He offers all types, +3 key, so just launching supers all the time. Now, one thing that's important to this event is to use God-type cards, which is why I've got my Super Saiyan God, Goku, Red, and then also the blue down there. But also, I used Whis on this team, and one of the main reasons I did that is because of his stunning ability, and also, he shares a +2 key link with Android 16. He shares the Gentleman link. Now, Android 16 in this is very important because he can take hella good damage. He can block 55% on any attack that he receives. Also on the team, I have an intelligent Super Saiyan Bardock. He actually seals super attacks, which again is really important because we do not want Beerus hitting us as hard as he can. So right now I'm just going to get into the event. Now this is the Z Hard 40 stamina, so you better be hoping that you beat it because it takes a lot of stamina in order to run it. So basically my other team leader is just going to be, my friend leader is just going to be another Gogeta, again +6 key automatically. It makes the fight so much easier. As far as you could see earlier, my items, I just went with healing items and a damage reducer with King Yemen, and then Ghost Usher. Actually, I only had to use one Ghost Usher during this battle. I was kind of disappointed. I was hoping I would just get through using healing items and King Yemas, but there was just a part where I didn't feel comfortable, and this was my very first recording of it, so I didn't want to die on my first recording. Now, my general strategy, going to the boss, I am a sucker for the random mystery spaces. I will fully admit it. There is nothing more satisfying than landing on one of those mystery spaces and getting that +3, +4, +5 key link or key power up, and it is just amazing. But I try to play it more safe as I go along. I get some decent power ups along the way. It's nothing spectacular because, again, with the dual Gogeta lead and a couple of the links that we have on this, we're basically supering every single attack, which is key for this because you don't want to let this fight go on too long, because what happens is after you've launched so many super attacks, Beerus will go into basically a rage mode, and he hits like a fucking truck during the rage mode. So we're gonna land on the last power up here, start the fight. Whenever you first fight him, these battles normally have, the very first stage of the fight is just a single health bar. They don't do a lot of damage. They usually can take damage pretty well. So he's going to hit us very first thing. Nothing I can do about that. But hitting him with a Super Gogeta is at least going to knock him out. So he hits us 16,000, not that bad, especially running this lead because we have a lot of health with this team. And Soul Punisher knocks him out pretty easy. But then this is where things get tricky. This is the next stage of the fight. He's going to have 5 health bars to get through, which it's not easy. But in hopes, what I did on this turn was I went ahead and tanked with Android 16 right at the beginning, and I was praying that Whis' passive ability would go off, which, if we give it just a second, we'll actually see. At the very end, I put Bardock at the end. Not ideal because we would like Bardock to be every other turn, but didn't happen that way. Bardock will seal his super, which is great. It's going to reduce damage, but one of the things with this fight is only God cards really do a lot of damage. Like, you're going to see Whis is going to do a hell of a lot more damage than Android 16 did. And also Whis's passive stun didn't go off. Not the end of the world. Would have been preferred, but it's okay. Okay, so actually I received a phone call during that particular part of the fight, so I had to slightly do a little bit of editing and get that out. But basically, strategy is going to be the same thing. Put Super Saiyan God Goku at the very beginning, because his super attack is 4, he's going to hit the hardest. Get as many green orbs as we can with Super Saiyan Blue. And I believe, yeah, the left side's going to have one more because he does do more damage the more green orbs we get. And with Super Gogeta, again, might as well get his super off, because he still hits hard, just not as hard as what he should with a maxed out super. But as you can see, we really depend on that Super Saiyan God to hit, and he does hit very hard. Okay, and we're gonna have Gogeta. I always call him Gogeta, it's really Super Gogeta. Does decent damage, and this is where things get really tricky, because this is where Beerus goes into his rage mode. Generally, he attacks 3 to 4 times every single turn, and his damage is increased significantly, his defense is increased significantly. So go with the tried and true strategy of just tanking with Android 16 at the very beginning, putting Whis in the second spot, hoping that his passive stun goes off, in which I go ahead and heal here, not because I'm worried about Android 16, but I am worried about that Super Gogeta at the end. And again, this was my very first recording. I didn't want to die on my first recording. That would have just been embarrassing. So, Beerus attacks us twice here, and he does launch his super, but Android 16 is the homie, and he reduces it by 55%. Otherwise, that would have taken out any other character. I mean, just flat. So, Android 16 doesn't do as much damage as we should, but Whis with the stun. Now again, he only does stun within the same turn, but that saves us from having Super Gogeta hit. And we go ahead on this one, I believe I put Super Saiyan Bardock at the end. Yep. Because since Beerus is going to be attacking twice at the end, again, not ideal. I'd prefer to have Bardock every other turn, but whenever you put a character in the third slot, they don't appear the next round or the next round, they actually appear the round after that. So the more frequently you want characters to attack, you keep them in the first and second spot. But again, since Beerus is attacking us 2 times at the end of it, we just go ahead and put him back there. And Bardock will seal his super, so he's only going to do regular attacks for a little while. It's actually not going to be that bad. And actually, I've almost got him at this point. What is fun, after Beerus goes through this whole rage and we maintain 12 charges, basically 12 attacks from him, what'll happen is he'll actually be completely gone for a turn. He will be in a state of sleeping, and so it actually allows us to get a really good hit in on him. And again, same strategy as before. 16 at the beginning, because we know that Beerus is going to attack those first 2 turns. There's no way out of it, so there's no benefit in having Beerus at the very front. There's no benefit in having Whis at the very front. Might as well put him in the second slot in hopes that his stun is going to activate. And again, 16 just tanking everything like a boss. Doesn't do that much damage, but that's okay. Now, this Whis is maxed out on his super, and his passive goes off again. Gotta love him. Now, with this last turn, he can launch his super again, and he's not stunned at all. So just to be safe, I go ahead and use a Ghost Usher. Again, I wish I didn't have to. I hate using Ghost Ushers, but just to be safe, I went ahead and did it. And as you'll see, this is actually going to do pretty decent damage on him. I wish the Super Saiyan God Goku was maxed, because again, I love that card. He hits freaking amazing and almost knock him out. And then Super Saiyan Blue finishes off for the win. And that's how you do the 40 stamina event. Again, this is just my team. I haven't had to use a single stone. I've ran this 12 times now. It's been really easy for me. Very rarely do I ever even have to use Ghost Ushers. That's just my personal preference, just for the sake of the recording. Again, this was my first Dokkan video, Tell me what you guys liked. Tell me what you didn't like. Tell me what teams you were running during this. I mean, I would love to know. I can talk Dokkan Battle for days. So, again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that if anyone's struggling with this event, this did help you. Thank you for watching. Have a good one, guys. Bye.